Grant gets a wide open look. No good on the three. Well, it was Miami winning their last game against New Orleans.
And with the type of defense they played that day, they were able to cause a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and causing a lot of turnovers, Greg, as you well know, means cashing in on those opportunities, which really can put a team in a bad way in a hurry.
Good. You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup.
No hesitation at all on that alley-oop. Saw his teammate with the path to the hoop, and bang! Lobbed it right up there for him.
And he was ready for it, elevated, made the catch. You saw the results.
And you know what, though? I like the fact that he still chose that conservative finish there, just making sure he got the deuce.
And it's the Heat with the ball. Michael Conley making his last shot.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
Here's Baruch. Good.
Not phased at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but well, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
And so here is Miami, leading by 5. Here's primetime, covered by Conley. Lots of room. Rebounded by Hood.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Out to the right wing. Here's Grant. And a miss there on the triple.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time. And really, the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
It is. I mean, no reason to back off and give him the layup. I mean, much better off making him go to the line.
The Heat shooting their first free throws of the night right here.
You've got to appreciate their ability to make free throws, 81% as a team.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
Now here's Conley. 17 points for him last game against Orlando. And the shot is good.
And that trip played out perfectly for them.
The Heat leading by 5. It's tipped. Here's Baruch, and he uses the glass on the layup.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Greg, you're exactly right. I mean, everything seems to be dropping. Impressive scoring here.
To the paint, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for Miami?
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
Here's Moran, and it's Miami with the rebound. The pass to Moss. Here's Baruch, and again Miami with the triple. The Grizzlies trail by 7. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach of the Grizzlies. They managed to get a win in their last contest against this squad, but he's far from complacent, fellas. He said, we know we're facing a dynamite offense. We were fortunate to get a win last time around, but we need to approach this game with the same discipline and attention to detail. This is a game where everyone has to devour that scouting report and try to minimize our mistakes. Kevin?
All right, Doris, they're probably well aware of the firepower they're up against here.
You know, it sounds like it. I mean, their coach knows how tough it is to slow this team down, and he wants to make sure his guys understand that as well.
Yeah, I guarantee he got his point across when prepping them for this one. He focused clearly on their absolute toughest effort defensively.
Now here's Conley, one of the dependable scorers on the team. He's averaging close to 17 points a game.
And this is why you need good defenders on the interior to contest shots.
Yeah, Greg, making every shot a hard one, even the shots in close.
Here's Moss. Oh,
and ran his man straight into the screen and got a clear path to the bucket.
That is how it is done.
Excellent team play there on the pick, and then he rips it down.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia.
All right, Memphis, you got your Crazy Girls on the court. Give them a nice round of applause.
Mike Scott's checked in for Hill. Last outing for Memphis, they won that game against Orlando.
And as an underdog, you might have expected them to kind of buckle when things got tight, but they were totally composed down the stretch.
Yeah, and I love that about them. It was a pressure-filled game, no question about that. Things got tense down the stretch, and they didn't fold. They stood their ground and got it done.
Miami leading by 8. Passes it to Moss. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And now we have a chance to check out Freak. He showed up every night and some noteworthy performances over the last month. First in free throw percentage, second in scoring, and of course he's second in the league with rebounds per game. His work ethic on the glass, unmatched.
And it's nice when you've got a guy who doesn't miss much from the line. You just keep the ball in his hands in clutch situations. He's been automatic this season. Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
They set the pick. Conley inside the line. Knocks down the step back Jay. Conley's got his second bucket of the night.
Looked like he was channeling Bob Cousy right there. Since when does he take guys off the dribble like that?
Here's the lob to the hoop. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Finished off the break.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Feeds to Scott. 13 feet away. Can't hit. And the Grizzlies going the other way now. They went to Miami for their last meeting with the Heat and came out with a win.
And they got the better of this matchup last time with their defensive pressure and the ability to force turnovers.
And that really was the difference. I mean, it requires a ton of energy to play that harassing style. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it again tonight.
Washington's checked in for Miami. There's the pick. Fuller, the pass to Mercer. No good off the pick.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Now, here is Young. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Moss can't get it to fall.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Here's North. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it was good. Miami leading by 4. Pass to Washington. Back to Young. It's tipped. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Here's primetime. 24-point outing in their last game against New Orleans.
And 3 blocks on the game as well. I mean, he was going all out and making plays defensively.
The Heat shooting their 7th attempt at the foul line in this one.
And what a tremendous game for prime time. He already has 11 points, and some of his offense coming at the foul line with 5 points there.
Clark, 5 pretty big points indeed.
And here are the Grizzlies now. They trail by 7. Good.
You really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
And Young kicks to Scott. To the middle, up off the screen. And it's laid up and in by Young.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
Here's primetime. 11 points in the game. Young outside. And there's the defensive 3-second call. For Miami, they have made the most out of their opportunities at the line. They have yet to miss in 7 attempts. And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
And doing a good job getting to the line and capitalizing.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's helped them build this early lead.
There's 1:40 left to play in the first quarter. Deflects the pass. And it's Memphis on the break. No good. Excellent D there from Moss. Miami leading by 7. And the pass to Collins. Shoots the 3. Comes out of the gate empty. He's 0 for 1. Memphis has gotten just 2 of 6 to fall from three-point range so far in the first. Here's Moss. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. We'll spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
And here are some players that you want on the line as often as possible these days. For the past month, these are the leading free throw shooting 2 guards in the league. Freak, 3rd.
Benefits of being as fantastic at the free throw line as he is it allows him to be really aggressive at driving the lane.
Which he is, very aggressive. He'll explode from his usual spot on the perimeter toward the rack, looking for contact, seeking it out, trying to get himself to the foul line.
Passes it to Strong. 6 on the shot clock. And he stuffs it on the jam.
And that's some inspiration. Steals, blocks, and a big dunk. Those are ways that you can really change the momentum in a game.
Well, they got to chip away, Clark, at that deficit, and no doubt that'll help.
And that's what he's out there for, guys. I mean, he is an electrifying player, no doubt.
That's good.
And the offense has come together immediately. I mean, they're threatening to run away with this thing already.
Greg, it's hard to imagine they'll stay this hot for 4 quarters, but if they even approximate that, watch out.
Fuller, the pass to Freeman. Here's North. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Here's Moss. Got it! What a shot!
What a 3 at the horn as they end the quarter on a high note.
Couldn't agree more. That'll give them a nice little lift, I think, going into the next quarter.
And as the first quarter wraps up, all